This, everybody, is the Chinese hawthorn, and you may notice it looks kind of like a cute little apple. Well, it's not a coincidence. This is related to apples, but a little bit more distantly. It's not in the same species, it is not in the same genus, however, it is in the same family as apples, so there is a resemblance, at least at a glance. But if you get a closer look, you see like even at the bottom there, has some similarities with like a rose hip. It's a little bit different. If you ever visit northern China, you will inevitably come across this fruit because this is sold as a street snack that you will see everywhere. Not fresh like this, but what they do is they'll put this on a skewer and they'll candy it. So it'll have like a hard sugar coating on the outside. Many years ago, I went to a school in China, and when I was there, I would eat this all the time. Between classes, I would like run out and buy this from like street vendors around my school and have it as a snack. It is something that, honestly, I kind of miss. So today, everybody, we are going to take a closer look at the hawthorn, not just the Chinese hawthorn. I'm going to talk about some of the other species that are out there that people eat. I'm going to try some hawthorn flavored products. And yes, I'm going to try to make the candied hawthorn that I miss oh so much. There are hundreds of different hawthorn species out there, and in the past I've had a handful of them. Some of them taste really good. This one is fleshy hawthorn. A little bit like strawberry. Some of them taste really bad. We got English hawthorn here. Tastes like a really woody, terrible apple. Some of them are not really worth mentioning. This is another English hawthorn. Tasteless, a little bitter, but tasteless. The vast majority of hawthorn species are not used for their fruit. However, a lot of them are very popular in landscaping. So if you keep your eyes open, you might see them just like growing on the side of the road. The Chinese hawthorn is not the only hawthorn that is consumed in any kind of great quantity. There's another one that you might come across if you visit a Latin supermarket called Tejocote, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong. And Tejocote, also known as Mexican hawthorn, is consumed in Mexico. Mexican hawthorn has a very interesting flavor. It's kind of like a cross between an apple and a guava. Mexican hawthorn is used in a variety of different applications, including ponche, which is a spiced drink that people usually have around the holidays. Dulce de tejocote. I actually made that one in the past, and it was really, really good. Isn't that lovely? They smell amazing. They look amazing. Hopefully they taste good. It tastes like baked apples, like the inside of like a nice like apple pie. One you probably have heard of if you live in the southern United States is called mayhaw. So mayhaw actually refers to more than one different hawthorn species, and it's used to make jelly out of. I have actually never had a fresh mayhaw before because I live in New York City and it is not something you could find around here. This is something you need to go and forage yourself. I have, however, had the jelly. It's hard to describe. It's a little bit sour, like cranberries or like a tart berry kind of flavor, but also has like this little mellowness to it like an apple would have. It's really good, and if it's something that you're interested in trying, take a look at Etsy. A lot of people on Etsy will like make it and sell it online. In the Middle East and also the Mediterranean, there is a fruit called azarolus. Not acerola, that's another fruit, but azarolus or azarole. It's used to make wine, it's used to make jam, and I've heard it can be ground up and mixed into certain baked goods. One day, I hope I can try that one, because that sounds pretty good. 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Whew. I have some workout advice for you. Number one, always start doing your reps at 95. Number two, you may want to consider taking creatine. In case you haven't heard me mention it before, my day job is as a contortionist. Now that I'm 40, I've noticed that it's getting a little bit more difficult. I'm getting sore more often, and I sometimes get winded on stage, which is not good. So I started taking creatine in order to help with muscle recovery and endurance. Momentous is an industry leader. They have spent years perfecting a supplement that helps with strength and recovery. But what I especially like about Momentous is that they have a creatine chew that lives up to the same standards as their creatine powder. I take 5 grams a day, spread throughout the day, and there's no way that I'm going to remember to stop and mix powders together to take my creatine. I just have like a handful of these in my messenger bag. As I go throughout the day, I take one as I need them. It feels less of a chore and more like I'm eating a piece of candy. You don't need to be a contortionist, you don't even need to be 40. This is something great for anyone who works out, or if you just want to take something that's going to help the health of your muscle. If you use my link or my promo code, you will get 35% off your first order. So check it out, and thank you Momentous for sponsoring this video. Although I've had the candied hawthorn a whole lot, I have never had this fruit just fresh out of hand. And honestly, I've never seen it for sale at like a market. Even in China, I've never seen this for sale. It's not a common thing you're gonna find at a supermarket. It's just something you're gonna find prepared by street vendors. So let's give it a try. It's good. Ooh. Sour though. This is actually very sour. It's not quite a lemon, but it's close. Maybe like a 9 out of 10. It's way up there. I've never noticed how sour this is because when you eat it on a stick, it's covered in sugar, so it balances that out. The sweetness on it is maybe a 4 out of 10, like a little bit less than a regular apple. Yeah, it's actually a little bit much to eat this out of hand. The texture is quite soft. It's not like an apple where it's gonna crunch when you bite into it. It's more like a little bit fluffier. It's a little bit difficult to eat because it's full of seeds. If you are someone who finds seeds interesting, there's one of the seeds. There's actually 5 of them inside the fruit, and they're kind of big for the size of it. I think when you get these on the skewer, a lot of times they will actually take the seeds out. So you actually see there's like a little cut in the fruits, and that's because someone cut it, took the seeds out, and then put the skewer through. The flavor of this is like a Granny Smith apple mixed with like a cranberry. Maybe like a little hint of like a strawberry in there or something. But yeah, it's definitely like a mixture of berries and apples together. That is a good flavor, but it's pretty intense. So making something out of it does make sense. So I'm gonna make the candied hawthorn in a bit, but right now I'm going to try some products that use the hawthorn in it. First up, haw flakes. So haw flakes are another very nostalgic treat for me. Not when I was in China, before I went to China, when I was in college. I used to buy this thing all the time, and that is because I was in college and I didn't have a lot of money. These things are cheap. They're very, very cheap. Even now, like many, many years later, I got this whole big package of like 10 of these little things for about $1. What they are is just a little nickel-sized, compressed, dried, desiccated slab of the haw fruit and sugar. And they taste not like a whole lot. The flavor of that is a little bit like a fruit roll-up, but really, really dry. There's something about them that is just really addictive. I can eat an entire packet of these, like no problem. I already did. Just filming this right now. Next up, dry hawthorn. And dry hawthorn is one of those things where you gotta ask, is it food or is it medicine? And if you go to a Chinese grocery store, you may find this in the tea section, you may find it in the like dried ingredient section, or you might find it mixed in with the medicines. And that is because people drink this as a tea, not just for pleasure, but they say it is supposed to be good for lowering high blood pressure. It also is sometimes used in cooking, so you could take these and throw it into like a soup or something. And what I'm going to try with this is I'm going to make a drink with it and just brew this like a tea. So here is my dry hawthorn tea. One interesting thing about this particular product that I used is it said, do not eat this fruit as a snack, and to make sure that if you're going to use it, to clean it for at least 5 minutes. So keep an eye out for that, because I think this was just kind of like fruit that was dried out, but not cleaned. I took the dry fruit and I like rinsed it out and soaked it and made sure that it was as clean as I can get it. And then I boiled it for about 5 minutes, and then I turned off the heat to let it infuse. And it looks a bit like apple cider and smells a little bit like apple cider. I mean, hawthorn is distantly related to apples, so maybe it is going to taste like apple cider. Let's see. It tastes like mulled cider, like a spicy, citrusy apple cider. I was a little freaked out with having to clean it for 5 minutes before I used it, but it does taste good. This would be a way of getting a flavor kind of like mulled cider without having to go through the trouble of like actually doing it with apples and spices and stuff like that. It's not super sweet though. I think this, if you want it to be like a mulled cider, you'd probably want to add some sugar to this. Yeah, I like it. Believe it or not, I have actually seen Tanghulu for sale in New York City. And I made the mistake of buying it once, and it was bad. It was like really, really bad. This kind of looks like crap. I don't know like what she did or how long this has been sitting around, but this does not look very good. Is this wax paper or is this rice paper? Wait. Okay, it's got an edible wrapping on it. I'm really hesitant to eat this thing. How gross that looks. Oh. Oh. I think what the vendor did is he took a frozen one, skewered that, and then candied it poorly, and then put it out for sale in the New York City air for God knows how long, until I came along and bought it. When I bit into it, it was rotten, and it looked like... I can't say what it looked like here on YouTube. Use your imagination of what you think it looks like, because yeah, it kind of looked like that. So yes, the last time I had this, I was sorely disappointed. So today, I think at the very least, even if I screw this up, it will taste better than that. I should also mention that Tanghulu recipe videos have been lovingly welcomed into the scary corners of YouTube. ASMR videos, mukbang videos, whatever the crap this is supposed to be.
The Tanghulu syrup. Dip the gummy into the syrup, then you add the water, then eat it immediately. It has a Tanghulu-like crunchy outside and
They all adore this food. Why? Because it has a candy shell. And watching pretty people bite into crunchy things and make crunchy noises is what entertainment has been reduced to. The intent of these kinds of videos is not to provide a actual recipe. The intent is to make me feel uncomfortable. So I didn't follow any recipes on YouTube or TikTok or what have you. I looked on blogs, and that's how I got this. So if I remember to, I will put a link to the blog that I followed down below. In order to make this, it's important that you have everything just like laid out, ready to go, because once that sugar gets hot, you gotta move kind of fast. So you got your fruit set. The other thing that you want is an ice bath. So take a bowl, fill it with ice water, get that set up. You also want somewhere to put your skewers. So wax paper is a good idea, or parchment paper, I guess. Okay, you've got your fruit, you've got your ice bath, you've got somewhere to put the fruit when you're done, okay? Everything is ready to go. So in order to do the sugar solution, I took 2 cups of sugar, half a cup of water, and 5 tablespoons of corn syrup, light corn syrup. You let that come to a boil. Keep an eye on it, okay? You're dealing with something that you don't want to get on your skin. You know, if that bubbles up and gets you, it's gonna give you a bad time. Once it gets to a point where it is in the hard crack stage, I think it's called. I think it needs to be like 300 degrees or something. I don't know. I don't have a candy thermometer. So what I did is something else. I took one of the bamboo skewers, I dipped it in it, and then I put it in the ice bath, and I took a bite out of it. It crunched, so that's what I want. One really good tip that I got is that you actually turn the heat off before you start dipping. And the reason for that is that if you start dipping it into the bubbling liquid, you're gonna get bubbles on your fruit. Okay, now these are coated. They go into ice bath. So usually when street vendors do this, they go real fast. That way it's just a fine coating on the outside. I'm gonna try to go a little faster. Yeah, I can do that with the top 3, but because it's too shallow, I've got too many fruit, so too bad. We're going thick. Oh my god, it worked. Now that they've been in the ice bath, take them out and not have to worry about them sticking so much to the parchment paper. However, they might stick to themselves. Whoops. Ah, well. And the next step after that is you're done. So that actually worked pretty well. There aren't really any bubbles in there. Nice glassy sheen. One thing that I noticed is that there is a little bit of water in there. You see that? Yeah. That's because I didn't do a great job with the ice bath. If this is completely covered in sugar and you dip it in the ice bath, it's not going to have a problem. But in my case, some water got inside. This one has seeds in it, so I'm gonna spit those out. The seeds are a bit difficult, so you gotta kind of balance, what you want. Do you want ease and convenience of just kind of skewering these things and going? Or do you want to cut it and take the seeds out and then have to deal with the logistics of this thing falling apart? So it might be worth a little bit of effort to perfect that balance, but even with the seeds, it's a small problem to deal with to get that flavor, and that flavor is right. It tastes the way that I remember it. It's good. It's really, really good. It tastes super fresh. This sometimes you get them from the street vendors, even in China, and you bite into it and you're like, that one's been sitting out there for a day. Little tip for eating this, by the way, is don't go this way as you're eating. You can do that with the top one, maybe the second one, but as you get to the bottom, you're gonna be stabbing the back of your throat. You don't want to do that. So what you do is you kind of go in from the side. I'm very happy. Even with the seeds. I've seen some cases where they've actually cut the fruit and taken the seeds out. So I tried to do that, and I realized that when you do that, it doesn't have anything to hold on to because it's hollow in the middle. So it's just going to fall off your skewer. So what I did is I put a hawthorn with seeds in it at the bottom and the top, and the two in the middle have the seeds removed. I think what would be an even better idea is to do this same sort of setup, but just use different fruit for the top and bottom. Like put a strawberry at the top and a strawberry at the bottom, and then two seedless hawthorns in the middle. That way it all stays together. That's what I think. So anyway, let's give it a try. You only live once, okay. For everyone out there who just is here to watch crunchy things, I'll give you some crunchy things. Here, let's... You ready? Okay, get your headphones on. Okay. That one has seeds in it, though. I just spit those seeds out, but I spared you the ASMR of it. Okay, here's the seedless ones. Is that attractive? Is that what you want? All right, so just going back. There's a learning curve either way. With seeds, you gotta dodge them. Without the seeds, you gotta be careful because that wants to fall off the skewer. Huh. Still have all this here. Real quick. So this was actually sent to me by Lou over at MadisonCitrusNursery.com. He sent me like a bunch of really interesting citruses, and this one here is an Indiomandarinquat. And what that is a cross between a kumquat and a mandarin. What's cool about this is the rind on it is edible. The rind is actually sweet, and the inside is really sour. On their own, they're a bit powerful to be just eating out of hand. They're pretty sour. But with the candy shell on it, I think that'll fix that problem. And I wanted to do this because this is, juicy in there. I want to see if that would still work in the sugar solution. And it did. It did. I wouldn't recommend putting anything like too liquidy in there, but to put this in there and give it like a little twirl didn't give me a problem. Okay. That is a great idea. I think kumquats in general would be really good for this. It just will, kumquats can be a bit intense. So to put the candy coating on it, great. And also the textures on this are wild. So you got like crunchy on the outside, then you got the chewy rind, and then you got the soft center. Yeah, that was a good idea. Really good. There is one more thing that I would like to do. See, Chinese hawthorn is actually very, very rare here in the US. I've never seen it before this one time. So this is not a typical thing to find, by far. One thing that you can find if you have like a well-stocked Latin grocery store is this. This is the Mexican hawthorn. Now I've reviewed the Mexican hawthorn in the past. I made a candied Mexican hawthorn, and it's quite good to candy this. Which got me thinking, what will happen if I make Tanghulu again, but this time, instead of using the very hard to find Chinese hawthorn, I swap it out for the Mexican hawthorn. This is a good idea, right? I haven't had this in a while, so I'm actually gonna try it just on its own real quick. Mexican hawthorn tastes very different. They both have this apple kind of taste, but whereas Chinese hawthorn has a flavor of apples and berries, this has the flavor of apples and tropical fruit. It's actually a lot like something that's also kind of rare, but I'll break it down in a second. It's a lot like feijoa. And feijoa has the nickname pineapple guava because it kind of tastes like a mixture of pineapple and guava. This also has that kind of taste. Chinese hawthorn are quite sour. This is around the tartness of an apple. Another thing that I'm going to try is I'm going to cover the candied Mexican hawthorn in tahine. Tahine is a mixture of chili, salt, and lime. This is going to add an extra pop to this fruit, which I think it needs because it's not as sour as the Chinese hawthorn. It also has the extra bonus of not needing to dip this in an ice bath. This is a good idea. I think that this is going to be good. One thing that might be a little problematic, though, is that I did not do as good of a job this time around. And I think the reason for that is my sugar was getting too hot, and it was starting to crystallize. So I caught it in time where this one got a nice glassy sheen on it. This one got a little bit translucent. And then the third one... didn't work out. If you got a thermometer, then it's going to make it a lot easier. You can keep an eye on that temperature, but doing it kind of the more old school way, this sort of thing can happen. Okay, so I'm going to try it with just the regular hawthorn first. I think I still have a hard shell. It's a little thick though. So let's see. This is a good idea. This is a very good idea. The coating I have on it is a little crunchy, but not as crunchy as I did it before. But even like this, the flavor is really good. The only criticism I have with this is that it is sweeter and less sour. The Chinese hawthorn has more of a kick to it, some more sour fruit than this. But what this does have is that really nice tropical taste. This was a great idea. What I think is going to be an even better idea, though, especially if you are someone like me who likes strong flavors and fruit with chili and salt on it. $1 million idea right there. That is incredibly delicious. The flavor of the tahine with that fruit, already that's good. The experience of Tanghulu itself, like how you would normally get it with like Chinese hawthorn or other fruit, that's good. You're mixing it all together in a way that makes total sense. This is great. This is so good that I wish I had free time because I would go and I'd sell this on the street and I would make $1 million. But I don't have time. I have to make videos. So somebody out there, go and do this. Go make this happen and send me a check. So that is about it for the hawthorn. The Chinese hawthorn, the Mexican hawthorn, all the hawthorns. They are a genus of fruits that is over time becoming more and more forgotten. But they're good. They're good. They're definitely worth checking out. So if you get an opportunity to try some hawthorns, try some hawthorns. And if you have any ideas on other brilliant $1 million ideas that you can do with any kind of hawthorn, put that below. And I will see you all next time. Oh yeah. I would like to give a very big thank you to Smarter Every Day, Bill T, Joseph McCorkle, and new ones, Allison and Clara. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. For anyone out there who's interested in learning more about how you can help the channel, but also get some stuff in return, for instance, you can get early access to videos. You get to see them up to a week before everybody else. You can do that. So information about all that stuff is down in the description below. Thanks so much.